It's the way Singapore wakes up. Wake up, Glenn, Angel, and the Flying Dutchman.
Wake up in the morning feeling like
Kiss 92's Big Show.
Good morning, Singapore. Welcome back to The Big Show and The Big Show TV. As promised, we have the man in the studio joining us once again. It's good to see him, Mr. James Marshall, Vice President of Global Air Account Management at Expedia. Welcome back, James.
Thank you for having me.
Good morning, James. I'm so excited because we're unpacking trends for 2025, but I'm also very excited because we got a whole bunch of stuff.
Thank you, James.
A bunch
Thank you
of
very much.
goodies from overseas, some of them from countries that might be trending. We've got this Marvis Cinnamon Mint toothpaste, great travel size. This is from Italy.
Which is really good, actually. I've tried it.
It's 100% made
great.
in Italy. This is fantastic.
Mine is
Then-
different. Mine is jasmine mint.
Oh, you got jasmine mint. I got
mint?
cinnamon mint.
Yeah, go for Jasmine.
Jasmine mint. What's yours?
Jasmine mint.
Jasmine mint. And then we
Why are
have,
we always getting the same things, huh?
because you're
Both
like
of
a
us,
married
like
couple.
we're twins.
Yeah.
It's because I love you.
And then we've got this Eco Store soap, which
That's
is from
nice,
New
yeah.
Zealand.
Yeah.
Then we have a collagen mask from Korea.
Oh, I need this collagen mask.
We have a Kit Kat from Japan. And then we have this Nova Bakehouse pistachio aku nakve chocolate, which is almost like a chocolate dessert
Yeah.
that has like a cake inside. And this sort of emulates the fixed dessert chocolate from Dubai, the viral chocolate from Dubai. But this is local. It is Nova Bakehouse. It's a small halal bakery here in
Can't wait to
Singapore.
try this.
I know.
Yeah.
So James, tell us.
Yes.
Why all the gifts from all over the world, and what are the trends when you gifted
Well,
us this?
I'm here to talk to you about Unpack 25. So
Yeah.
we
Right.
just announced the trends, the travel trends for 2025. And one of the big trends on Expedia that we saw after we surveyed 25,000 people around the world
Now
in
that's
19
a good
countries.
survey. That's a good
Singapore is
number.
included.
Okay.
We have about 1,000 people that we surveyed in Singapore. And one of the trends is actually the goods getaway trend. And it's actually, you won't be surprised. I think it's something that when you think about it, it will coming naturally. When people travel, they always go and they want to buy something unique. Very often it's food, but it could be other products. And it's not just, your typical keychain or your fridge magnet. Now it tends to be food, beauty products, or all these kind of products or goods that we gave you. Those are the typical things that people want to go, and they go to find it in the country, in the destination that they go to, and it's either to consume or to have an experience there or to bring it back to their families and friends.
as souvenirs.
Yeah,
you're
souvenirs.
absolutely right. Yeah.
It's absolutely true because my daughter Lee does this. She takes 2 vacations a year and she goes to Korea. One vacation is just to eat.
Yeah.
She literally does 5 days of eating. And the other vacation is just to shop.
Yeah.
And what does she shop for?
Masks like that.
Oh, so
It's
beauty
beauty products.
products,
She
okay.
spends days on beauty products.
She could do the two at the same time. All the
Yeah,
shopping.
exactly.
I think it's
Yeah.
an excuse to travel twice. It's her excuse to travel twice.
But you're right, though. I mean, sometimes when I forget to pick something up, say while I'm traveling, the airport is the next best spot to
Yeah.
pick up, although it's very expensive
Yeah.
because they mark the prices up, but to pick up chocolates and to pick up biscuits and stuff like that, to bring a taste of the country back home for your friends and family.
And I think that social media has really, amplified that. I have a story about the chocolate that you have here, with the one in Dubai. I went to Dubai for work 3 weeks ago, and as I landed, I had a text from my daughter saying, "Hey, can you buy me this chocolate while you're in Dubai?" And she, a screenshot
Fixed
of
dessert
the
chocolate, yeah.
TikTok of that chocolate.
Yeah.
And so I was there with some local partners, and I said, "Okay, guys, you need to help me." And it's one of these ones that it's very specific. It only opens up for delivery at a specific time, and you need to do it. We all tried. Every time
Couldn't
it was
get it.
sold out. So, but now we found this alternative. Let's see. I just gave it to her. Let's see how she
Oh,
finds
so-
it.
Okay.
Speaking of which, I mean, James, the Gen Zers, their
Yeah.
travel patterns, how different are their travel patterns compared to, let's say, our travel patterns?
Yeah.
Well, one of the things we've seen with Gen Zs is first they're becoming really good with information. I mean, they have a lot of information coming to them, some of it, with the viral things, but also they do a research or they find something that they like, and then they will go deeper. And then they influence us. I mean, especially when you have, teenagers who are really into those destinations and looking at some of those goods, they're going to influence their parents, or now the ones who are really moved into being independent and travel on their own. They have all these new trends, and it's a little bit different for us. And this is what we found in our trends report. We realized that the way they travel or the way they research travel also is quite different. So we talked about the goods getaways, where they really want to find those goods and those products for themselves, those experiences. You were talking about experiences like you can go to Costa Rica, for example, to do some coffee discovery. You go to China to taste tea. Matcha experience in Japan. I mean, those are the type of experiences that you see in the goods getaway. But they also want something different. And we have some of these trends show us that they are leading some of that change. We, our generation, we tend to, like some of the things. But I'd say that we also change other trends. We one of the biggest trends we've seen on Expedia is the detour destinations, for example, where some of those destinations are getting really, really busy. I was in Barcelona these last few months this summer, and it's getting really overwhelming. It's really too many people. Then you can go to a destination like Girona, which is just 1 hour away
and
from
get a beautiful experience.
And it's a beautiful town. It's a capital of a province. It's got beautiful cathedral and others, museums, countryside on the side, and then you can get some, for example, Figueras, which is not really far. You have the Dali Museum, which is amazing. Yeah. And you're away from the crowds, away from the hub, but you can still go back. You can actually join the two destinations. You can go to a main destination and go to Tokyo, for example, which is really busy. As we know, everybody's going to Tokyo. But then you can go away to some other towns around there, or even fly out to another city like Fukuoka, which is also known as one of these D2 destinations.
Right. We are speaking to Mr. James Marshall, of course, and let's continue to have this conversation on The Big Show TV. But I just want to let you know that we are going to be giving away $500 worth of Expedia Rewards points in just a while, so stay tuned for that. All you need to do is answer a very simple question. Up next, Jungkook featuring Lato. This is 7 on Kiss 92.
So, James, you guys have done this research. You've got all this amazing information. How do you put these new trends into action at Expedia?
So there's different ways. I mean, one is how we help our customers, our travelers, find those, because we know what they want. We know what they're searching for, so we're trying to make it easier for them. But what we do is we work with our partners, the suppliers, whether it's the hotel chains, hotel properties, airlines, to help them understand the trends that we see so that they can adapt their product and make it easy for them to offer and make some changes. So there's a few other trends, for example, that we were talking about that we found out on hotels.com, particularly around the hotel restaurant renaissance, for example, where now more and more hotels have a great restaurant as part of the hotel. In Singapore, we see that quite a lot. We see a lot of hotels have top restaurants in the hotel, and people now travel for the restaurant, not just for the
destination.
Hotel. So you have certain restaurants that may have exclusive access just for guests, or maybe priority on the reservation. And that's something that hotels are picking on, and then they realize, okay, this is something that's really helping us. It's not just adding revenue for their own business, but also it helps attract more people who stay with them, or also just people who are going to that destination. So that's just one example.
What about destinations? What are, like you were saying, Girona instead of Barcelona, go outside like Fukuoka instead of Tokyo? Are there other destinations that you're sort of picking up on that people are going to?
Well, there's one where I'm going in a couple of weeks. We have some holidays, and it's one I've been in the past, and it's exactly for the reason. So Krabby instead of Phuket. Phuket is one everybody, especially from Singapore, everybody knows it's very easy, many flights. Krabi is not that far, but now you have the Krabi airport is actually quite active. There's, I think, 3 daily flights from Singapore. Okay. And the beaches are great. You have a lot less crowds. You have a lot of choices. Prices are probably a little bit later. Right, you don't have in Phuket you have certain areas, you have a lot of traffic. There's traffic jams sometimes. Krabi is great. You can escape, and you have also some villas, you have hotels, resorts, you have a really good mix. And that's a great example
Yeah.
of these detour destinations.
Never
Like,
thought about
if I-
Krabi. Actually, I
yeah.
was just telling Angel,
I
like,
went
I'm a
to
bit
Krabi,
tired
yeah.
of Phuket.
No, so
Because-
if I could recommend, I mean, you can fly into Krabi clearly, but if I could recommend like what I did, I flew to Phuket. And because there are so many flights to Phuket, I mean, if the 3 flights do not meet your timing, fly into Phuket and then drive to Krabi. It's only about
Couple of
3
hours.
hours maybe, and such an easy drive.
A 3-hour
right.
drive.
No, and it's a wait, hold on.
That's too long.
It's
Yeah.
a beautiful drive, if not less. It's a beautiful drive because you drive through the limestone caves.
Oh, right.
You know, so you get all these rock
Oh,
formations.
that's
It's
nice.
a gorgeous drive.
And it's very easy to get some of those vans
So-
with the
so
driver
easy.
and
or
yeah.
without a driver, we always like rent a Toyota Fortuner,
Yeah.
$70 a day or something, and you just drive up. And you have your own car. You chuck all your luggage in the back, your water, whatever. Put your own music on and just drive. And then after that, when you get to the hotel, obviously you can drive around. If you get a driver, it's a bit harder. But if you have a big family, then it's
Yeah.
easier.
I don't like road trips. That's the thing.
But that's one of the things I think Singaporeans are getting more adventurous. You go, I know because sometimes I go to get my international driving license here, and you see a lot of people. And Japan, for example, is one of those places people fly to Tokyo. They rent a car and then
and
they
drive.
will go to some other cities and towns which are not. For example, Nagano in winter, going skiing, you do that. That's a great detour. You go to Tokyo, but then you drive up to Nagano to some of the ski resorts. And it connects with one of the other trends that we're seeing, which is the phenomenalist, where you want to see nature, animals. And you can go in Nagano, you have the monkeys, those ones in the snow,
Yeah.
the snow
Yes.
monkeys in the
Yeah,
lake.
yeah.
The best way to do
So
it is
beautiful.
renting a car and then just going on your own and enjoy and visiting all these places and away from the crowds.
I pity the locals at these places because Singaporeans are bad drivers.
I actually think when Singaporeans drive overseas, they're okay because everybody else is very considerate.
But I
Except
just
when
feel
they
like in
drive in
different countries,
Malaysia.
they've got different rules, right? So it's like you got to be a little brave and, to
Like
to
I would
drive.
never drive in like Bangkok or Jakarta,
I was supposed to drive in Rome.
Rome,
The last
yeah.
time I went there, and I said, "Nah, it's okay.
Did you?
Let's not." And thank goodness, because I mean, it's so different,
Yeah.
But that I think in Rome is not so much the Singaporeans, it's just the Rome.
The way they drive.
That's true,
yeah.
that's
They
true.
drive.
Their driving
Small.
is a culture by
Yeah,
itself.
Yeah.
Everyone's parallel parking and just kissing each other's
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
the back of the car.
And they literally go boom.
"What's going on?"
Yeah, yeah,
That's why they invented the smart.
yeah.
Okay. What else do we have?
So some of the other. I mean, you were talking about some of the other trends.
Trends, yeah.
I talked about the one about the restaurants, and just to stay, one trend that really surprised me was the all-inclusive. We call it the all-inclusive era. So when you talk, and especially people in my
Club Med.
generation, no, exactly. You
Yeah.
have it's not the most positive experience, right? You think, oh, it's a cheap buffet and all
Yeah.
that. Well, the Gen Zs are the ones that are really changing everything. I think a lot of the big hotel chains have jumped into this trend that they've seen the Gen Zs being interested. They want something that is easy, something that really makes them feel comfortable, and also they're cost conscious. And they want to take away decisions. They don't want to have to think, oh my God, I'm going to be traveling there, and then where am I going to go to eat? And so they find these great resorts, or you see a lot by the beach, but where they can just know that they're going to be comfortable, that everything is taken care of.
You don't have a bill at the end
They
of
don't
the
have.
day,
They know
yeah.
exactly what they're paying, but also it's funny because on one hand it's kind of cost conscious, and they
Yeah.
know, okay, I know exactly what I'm paying. But at the same time, they have this feeling of luxurious comfort where they can be by the beach and then you just click their
Order
fingers and
what
they get
you
a
want.
drink, whatever they
Yeah,
want,
yeah.
and they don't have to worry. And I think that's a trend that you see. They love that all-inclusiveness. On TikTok, this trending, the
Yeah.
all-inclusive, hashtag has been trending. You can see also some of the big chains are actually starting to grow. You have that in certain big resorts, in Mexico, in Cancun, and now you're starting to see that more and more in many destinations. So it's a great trend to see, and actually that's one where we know there's a demand, and we work with both our hotel partners and our
Yeah.
travelers to understand that they have a great choice now.
Okay.
Yeah, all inclusive is great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It always works for me.
Just know the difference between half board and full board.
Yes.
Because a lot of people confuse what half board means and full board means.
Actually, that's the other part of all inclusive. It doesn't have to be 100% inclusive.
Yeah.
I mean, you have one thing I've seen from Singapore. A lot of people, if they go skiing, Hokkaido, as having. I mean, you talked about Club Med. They started They started that, but now more and more resorts offer that. You bring your kids and you say you want to go skiing or to travel around. They take care of your kids. It's all included there. But sometimes they just say, we take care of your breakfast and your dinner. But lunchtime,
You
go
do
and
whatever
do your
you
thing.
want. Yeah.
No, it's great. So it's definitely evolving. It's definitely changing. And the Gen Zs are really the drivers behind some of that change. They want something that is different from us.
But you think the Gen Zers have the spending power?
That's the question. I mean, the younger ones take advantage of their parents. Obviously, I mean, I know in my case that's exactly what's happening, and they kind of influence and they say we'd like to go there. But I think it's a choice that they make. They're very selective. They decide where they want to go. They have a choice. They have a choice of information through social media and others, and then through, they can go to Expedia and really cater, and customize exactly what they want to book. And that's, I think, the big difference from when we were younger, that you had a travel agent and you didn't have a lot of choices.
I mean, we've heard about the term jet setting. What about set jetting?
Yeah, so that's a great trend, and actually, I'm sure you're going to recognize it. It's something that started a few years ago. We started noticing it, and we called it out in our trends. I think last year or 2 years ago, and it's basically the influence that all the movies, all the TV shows have on where we want to go.
Like Emily in Paris or something.
Emily in Paris, you had White Lotus.
All the Four Seasons hotels.
All the Four Seasons hotels. You had, what is the one? I mean, Shogun now. Obviously, you also had it before with Lords of the Rings.
Yes. Hobbits and all that.
The Hobbits and all that. So that really is something that is amplified by social media.
Game of Thrones.
And locally, the destinations are adapting and trying to make the most out of it.
I think this is quite interesting for us to go on air and talk
let's
about
do that,
set jetting. It's
Set
a
jetting.
nice way to close the interview.
Yep,
as
okay,
well.
let's do that.
Yeah, okay, let's do it.
Got me singing like, ooh, I love it when you do it like that. And when you're closer, give me the shivers. Oh, baby, you wanna dance till the sunlight cracks. When they say the party's over, then we'll bring it right back. Oh no, say, ooh, I love it when you do it like that. And when you're closer, give me the shivers. Oh, baby, you wanna dance till the sunlight cracks. When they say the party's over, then we'll bring it right back.
Ed Sheeran with Shivers right here on Kiss 92, all the great songs in one place. We are with James Marshall, Vice President of Global Air Account Management at Expedia, and we encourage you to log on to expedia.com.sg to read about the Unpack travel trends. I believe you will find the answer to the upcoming question that I'll be asking you, and we are giving away $500 worth of Expedia Rewards points thanks to James and his team. Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
James.
Thanks, James. So on the Big Show TV, we were talking about a new term that has come up. We've all heard about jet setting, but now there is something called set jetting as a travel behavior. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yes, it's all about the TV show sets. It's all about being influenced and wanting to go and visit, where all these shows have been filmed. And,
Like filming
the
locations,
location, and to feel the atmosphere and to feel you back into the show. So you have, we were talking earlier on about Lords of the Rings. That was kind of some of the first ones, or Hobbit.
Yeah.
Hobbiton in New Zealand, but you have Emily in Paris. So that was in the past few years. And the great thing you see is that every new show that comes in through streaming or TV is bringing a new location, is bringing a new destination that people want to go and discover. And it's quite amazing that is really driving a lot of the choices in, where people want to travel. And social media help us. Because you start seeing this and people go there and said, I want to feel that I'm part of that show.
Yeah.
And it's quite incredible.
I think when White Lotus, we mentioned White Lotus earlier, and when White Lotus season 1 was filmed in, I think it was Italy, immediately I Googled it and then found out it was the Four Seasons in Sicily or something. And just recently I went to Conrad Koh Samui.
Okay.
And I knew that White Lotus 3 was being filmed, had been filmed in Thailand, like Phuket, Bangkok, and Koh Samui. And I asked the staff at the Conrad, I said, was it filmed here? And they said some scenes were done at the Conrad Koh Samui, but most of it was done at the Four Seasons, because the director loves the Four Seasons brand.
So you realize that actually it's a big business now. When a company, when a show is going to be produced, now you have some of the hotels or the destinations, a lot of the tourism are trying to bring those
movie sets, right?
there, because they know that it's going to be not just at the time of the movie, but that's going to drive so much business, so much interest of people to go there. So I think
True.
Four Seasons have done a great thing with White
Amazing.
Lotus.
Yeah.
And this is going to be the third
Third season, yeah.
Really, really amazing what they've done. But you have other places. I mean, you have obviously Shogun in Japan. Moana 2 in Hawaii. A lot
Yeah.
of people are, and also it's for all ages.
Yeah.
And you can see that influence. And then you have also, we talked about Emily in Paris and Squid Games in Korea.
Of course,
So
yeah.
all these shows keep on coming. You have new ones. Yellowstone is bringing people to the
To the
national
US.
parks. So the amazing thing is that it's not something that happens just once. And I think that set jetting is a trend that's going to continue.
I love it. I love
Right.
the term set jetting. It's
Very
like following
nice.
filming locations around the world.
Yeah,
Very
I mean,
cool.
what a way to promote your country.
Yes, absolutely.
As well.
Yeah.
Which is why I think our Singapore Tourism Board, encourages people to come over here and turn it into a film set. in certain
Singapore, I can
places.
tell you, last week I had a colleague from the US coming, and first time in Singapore, and she said, "Okay, where can I go with this place where they were eating in the Crazy Rich
Rich
Asians?"
Asians, Newton Circus.
And Americans, and they love it. They
Yeah.
love to come to Singapore because of that.
Well, thank you so much, James, for joining us this morning. It's been really fun having
Always a
you on the
pleasure.
show.
Thank you.
And once again, thank you very much also for the $500 worth of Expedia Rewards points. Now, this is the question. What are the top grocery store souvenir items that Singaporeans tend to bring back from their travels? I'll give you some choices, okay? Is it soaps, body wash, and lotion? Is it coffee and tea? Is it sweets, chocolates, cookies, and candy? Or is it chips and savory snacks?
Okay.
All right.
Multiple choice. That's easy.
And do log on, as I mentioned earlier on, to expedia.com.sg and check out the Unpack travel trends.
Yeah, and then call us if you know the answer.
Yep.
It's 6691-0920.
Call us right now. It's 9:28.
Kiss 92 Time Check brought to you by Putian.